Hello, my name is Douglas Bloch. I'm an author and mental health educator. Welcome to your Depression Recovery channel, where each week we talk about practical tools and coping strategies for healing from depression and anxiety. The title of today's video is Why I Am Glad and How You Can Be Too. But first we have to start with our little plays on words, and my associate videographer, Jerry, says they're very, very good. So here's the first one. It's hard to tell puns to a kleptomaniac because they always take things literally. And did you hear about the restaurant on the moon? There's great food, but no atmosphere. All right. Well, again, the title of this video is Why I Am Glad and How You Can Be Too. So why am I glad being, an ongoing depressive? Well, two reasons. One is I took a look at my phone and went onto my YouTube app, and I discovered that as of this evening, we have 49,900 subscribers. And since I get usually about 70 a day, that means by Saturday, or definitely before Christmas, we'll have 50,000 subscribers. Now that is a milestone. Now, when I first started this channel 7 years ago, I didn't have any long-term plans. I didn't have any big ideas. I just wanted to share with others what I have learned through my suffering and what I've learned about depression recovery. And year by year, you people have tuned in, you've talked to your friends, more of you have come, so I'm very, very grateful that you've all been with me. We're learning together. This is a community channel, especially when we do our live chats. So I'm very happy that the channel is growing, and at the rate we're going, I think by the time I'm 70, so by the time I'm 76, we could hit 100,000. Boy, we'll have to throw a big party for that one. Right. Second reason I'm glad is I recently heard from two of you viewers who have been struggling and seem to be turning a corner. This first comment, we'll call the commenter Dave. He said, I find your channel and videos the most helpful with information that makes sense to my depressed brain. I believe what you say because you have experienced it. I am starting to implement your advice and things are working. My bad days are no longer weeks, but just a day or two. Slow changes are happening, which is encouraging. So you can see that bit by bit, Dave is emerging out of the darkness and into the light. The very same day, I got an email from a man called Robert. He's been experiencing obsessive thinking and excessive ruminating. The big success that he reports is that he actually finally found a good therapist. Now, let me tell you, having been seeing therapists for 52 years, when you find a good one, it's worth their weight in gold. And this therapist, who he really thinks can help him, gave him an exercise he'd never done before. She said, get a journal and start doing an exercise called GLAD. That's why I called the video, I am glad and how you can be too. So what does GLAD mean? It's an acronym. And I'll tell you what it stands for. So the G stands for gratitude. So in your journal, you answer this question, what am I grateful for today? Well, when you're depressed, that doesn't really make sense, does it? Well, I did a video called, Can You Be Grateful When You Are Depressed? And the answer I came up with is yes. Because if you look at the yin-yang symbol in Chinese, there's always a light in the dark side and a dark in the light side, which means that even in the toughest of times, there's always a little bit of light. There's something good that can be found. Well, in my case, I had a roof over my head. I had food in the cupboard. I was in reasonably good health, and I had a couple of people who cared about me. So there's usually something that we can find that's working. The L stands for learning. You ask yourself, or you answer the question in the journal, what did I learn today? Well, I've always felt that this earth is like a big school, and we're here for one reason only, to learn to grow in love and wisdom. When I went through my episode, you can say, what good came out of that? What did I learn? Well, I learned perseverance. I learned how to survive one day at a time. And most importantly, I learned compassion for other people who are struggling because I knew what they were going through. So ask yourself, what am I learning? What is life teaching me? There's always something that you can learn. There's always something you're being taught. It's there right in front of you. Or you can take it literally and say, well, maybe I should go take a class in guitar, or how to draw. There's always ways you can expand your brain and mind. The third, GLA, accomplishment. What did I accomplish today? Well, maybe it's just getting out of bed and going back to bed, or getting out of bed and making breakfast and going back to sleep. Or maybe it's going to the gym, Or maybe you just washed 2 dishes. These can be very small things, but don't underestimate them. I did a video called Self-Efficacy where I talked about how psychologists find out that when people can master a task, no matter how small, their self-esteem goes up. And one of the cardinal symptoms of depression is low or poor self-esteem. So small accomplishments, build upon your successes, and that would be very helpful. So glad. Gratitude, learning, accomplishment. D is delight. In your journal, you write, what delighted me today or what uplifted me? Again, you ask, how can I do this? Because when you're depressed, you have the inability to experience pleasure. This is true, but even in these storms we have in Oregon in the spring, there's little breaks in the action. The sunlight comes out in between. Sometimes there's even a rainbow. And I remember when I was really in my darkest days, I went to my therapist, Pat, and I said, look, all I'm trying to do is survive day by day. Where's the quality of life in that? I have no quality of life. She said, Douglas, the quality of life is in the little things. I thought about that, and she was correct. I remember one day I was leaving outpatient treatment. It was at 5 p.m. And again, the clouds cleared and it was an unexpected, beautiful sunset. Another instance, I was going to some choir music with my wife, Joan, and there was a particular verse. I just felt my heart being lifted up. And for one moment, I felt like I was on a tightrope, walking above the abyss, just balancing ever so precariously. And in that moment, I felt some peace. So there are these moments, if we can look for them, where we can find delight, where we can take pleasure. Hey, I just had a bite of, you ever heard of Yasso bars? Oh my God, the chocolate fudge is to die for. Chocolate usually works. And well, the only symptom I didn't have when I was depressed is lack of appetite, but ice cream is a good one. All right, so glad. Gratitude, learning, accomplishment, delight. So what do we do with that? Well, start writing these things in your journal. Every day, either at the beginning of the day when you wake up, maybe the middle of the day when you take a break, or before you go to sleep, which is my favorite time. Ask yourself these questions and write the answers in the journal. What am I grateful for? What did I learn? What did I accomplish today? And what did I delight in? Now, here's the interesting thing. This will change your brain, especially if you do it for 21 days. There's an old, saying in the self-help literature that it takes 21 days to create a new neural circuit in the brain. And the thing is that every thought you think has a neurochemical equivalent. Every thought you think stimulates chemical changes in the brain. They can either be changes that bring you towards your recovery or changes that keep you in your suffering. And this is why the great psychiatrist Viktor Frankl said, when he was in the concentration camps, everything can be taken from a person but one thing, his ability to choose his attitude in any given situation, his ability to choose his own way. And that's where our freedom comes, and our ability to choose our thoughts. Even when we're down, we can make the effort, and with the help of a good psychologist or friend or loved one, we can slowly but surely choose the thoughts that are going to uplift us. Well, this has been Douglas Bloch. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you again for making this channel a success, all you people out there. I really, really appreciate it. It brings me such joy to know that all the pain and all the sorrow I've been through, can be used in a positive way, which is something to be grateful for. If you have any questions about what you've heard or any comments, leave them in the comments section. Or you can email me, douglasbloch@gmail.com. And again, if you want to, I do appreciate, the other thing I wanted to mention is that all you people who have contributed to this channel, either in live chat by doing the super chat, or some of you who become patrons. And if you go to the crowdfunding site, Patreon, which will show in the closing credits, you can learn how to become a monthly sustainer. If you click on my photo during the credits, you'll be taken to the subscribe page. And when you click the button to the right of the subscribe button, it's actually a bell. You'll be notified every time I put up a new video or a new live chat. And anything else? I think that's about it. So I hope to see you next time. And until we meet again, I wish you the best in your mental health recovery. Have a great day.